These are two key areas that I concentrated on in my golf game to turn pro. And I know for a fact that if you concentrate on them too, you can reduce your handicap significantly.
Because you're going to start to hit golf shots that seem effortless. We all know that golfer at our golf club that puts nothing into it, the ball sails high and sails straight. Well, understanding how you control your lead wrist in the golf swing is the recipe to that. Now, this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I release golf videos like this every single week, and I'd love for you to join the team. So subscribe, turn the bell, so you never miss any of my uploads.
Now, I want to start off by understanding some key terms here. Look at the side of the screen. This is what we would call extension, and you're going to hear... That's what we're going to call flexion. Now, this is really interesting. I really want you to understand that if you understand the correlation between those two terms and your club face, you then can control the golf ball. Now, I'm using hack motion just to help me illustrate this, but the first position that really solidified my ball flight, and what I mean by that is consistent, is this position at the top. And the correlation between here and here. Now, if you look on the side of the screen here, you can see the correlation between extension and flexion on the hack motion device. Now, I also want you to understand is have a look at that club face. If I bring it down here, the more extension I have, the more my face will be open. Now, there's a strong correlation with what you do here to what happens at impact. And the more flexion you have, the more closed your club face to what I would class as quite neutral happens here. Now, this is what made me turn pro. Now, unfortunately, when I was trying to turn pro, I didn't have this, but it makes it a hell of a lot easier. And you're gonna see why. Like if I just jump in here, go into immediate on biofeedback, you can hear that noise right there. Now, essentially, you can see the numbers go from extension into flexion and then past that. And the side of the screen changed colour from red to green when I get it right. Now, the first drill, the amount of times, and this is such a good drill, I would swing to the top, check it, okay, I need more flexion, and really try and feel that wrist flat is untrue.
Now, I want you to think of this, your lead wrist, your left wrist for a right-handed golfer, and the top of the backswing as the first domino to controlling the club face better at impact. So those smoother, far more effortless golf shots. The more you're out, either too closed or too open at the top of the backswing, the more you have to do on the way down. The more you've got to save the shot. Now, of course, you could hit some great shots, but every student that comes to me week in, week out wants to become more consistent. So having a nice flat lead wrist, the club face stronger to more square, is the first domino to getting this right. Yes, we need to talk about the next phase, but let's just nail this top of the backswing first. It's essential.
Now, if I've set a range on here between a little bit of extension to quite a lot of flexion, and I've got the biofeedback to go, okay, without looking, can I get it in that position? And you can hear the noise when I get it. So now I would make a backswing, pause, wait for the noise, hit the shot away, making rep after rep after rep, knowing I'm in the right position. Because as I just said, there's a strong correlation with where you are at the top of the backswing to where you're going to be at impact. Now, the crazy thing is that feels like this to me, but I can see on the feedback, it's not. It's just in a real good amount of flexion for me to have control in my golf swing. Now, all this means if you get into this position at the top of the backswing, you're going to be more consistent. You're going to have straighter ball flights, find more fairways, and hit it in far less risky positions. Well, that's what I did when I was trying to turn pro. So essentially, if you're more here, I want you to feel the knuckles more away. If you're too much here, I want you to feel the knuckles a little bit closer to your wrist. Just copy me. Now, the second position that I absolutely swear by is this position, last parallel, before we turn into impact. And understanding again, the flexion, extension combination with what you've got to do to control that club face. Again, we've got to feel more of this, in my opinion.
And what I found in my golf game was that the more I felt this flexion, so the movement you can see on the screen right here, the more I would square up the club face coming into impact. And I'm like, I just got to nail this movement. Now I appreciate it's going to be odd, maybe a little foreign to begin with, but nothing you can't master by watching this video. I'll also add this to it. I had a lesson this morning, Mike. We nailed this with our irons to start with because it's a shorter club and it has more loft. And this was 7 iron to be precise. But with driver, it took a little longer. And simply because the shaft is longer and the face is flatter, you've got to be a little more precise. And my advice to him was, and my advice to you right now, is that you've got to exaggerate this movement more. You've got to really feel that flexion of that lead wrist from the start of the downswing all the way to impact. Trust me on that.
Now these positions are really simple. All the hat motion does is just help you achieve it, and you get the feedback to what you're actually doing. Now I'm going to swing to the top here again. Hear the noise. Hear the noise. Look where I am. Now if I just keep the club face there, I want you to come closer. Look at this. Open. Look at this. Too closed. The noise in a nice square position. Now I was always here halfway back down. Now I'm here, which means at impact I'm more likely to be square. That is a strong correlation to why I hit the ball straighter. Just copy me. No matter whether you have the technology or not, I would go to the top, back down to here, just copy this, into impact, walk into your shot, hit it away. Whew! That was absolutely smoked. A prime example of how I'm hitting more fairways.
So just to remind you of a few things that you've learned in this video. If you're more extended or cupped at the top of the backswing, the likelihood of your face being open at impact increases. The more flexion and the flatter your lead wrist at the top of the backswing, the more your chances are having a square face. So that will result in longer, straighter shots. More extension, more cupped, more shots that curve off to the right for a right-hander. And then if we look at that second position that we've nailed today, is understanding that, again, the same rules apply. If I have more extension at last parallel, my club face is bound to be open at impact. There's not enough time to save it. Whereas if I have more flexion at last parallel, I'm in a much better place to service the club face, and I've got the time to square it. This is why a golf swing won't feel rushed, and as I said at the start of the video, will feel like it's effortless, just like those golfers you see at your golf club. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.